Ever felt like there's an invisible force holding you back? That frustrating voice whispering, "Later, you've got time." You know that feeling, right? That sneaky urge to scroll, to binge watch, to do literally anything else but that one thing you know you should be doing. It's the thief stealing your ambition, your peace, and your potential, one delayed task at a time. This isn't just you being lazy. This is the procrastination paradox, a mind-bending puzzle that keeps us stuck, even when we desperately want to move forward. Why do we keep choosing temporary comfort over long-term dreams? Why do we trade tomorrow's peace for today's fleeting distraction? If you're tired of that cycle, if you're ready to break free from the shackles of delay and finally reclaim your power, then hit that like button, because this video is about to unlock the exact strategies you need to win the war against procrastination. Let's dive in. At its core, procrastination operates as a deceptive transaction. We willingly trade substantial long-term well-being for superficial, short-term relief. The paradoxical nature of this exchange lies in our brain's immediate inclination to evade present discomfort, even when such evasion guarantees amplified discomfort in the foreseeable future. It's crucial to understand that this isn't merely an issue of idleness. It's more accurately an issue of emotional regulation. When confronted with a task perceived as challenging, monotonous, or overwhelming, our cognitive processes instinctively seek to mitigate negative emotional states, anxiety, boredom, frustration, or even the underlying fear of inadequacy. Consequently, we defer, we engage in distractions, we deviate. However, this momentary alleviation of discomfort is by definition an illusion. The responsibility doesn't disappear, rather, it magnifies. The initial anxiety doesn't diminish, it intensifies exponentially. The thought, "I will address this later," invariably transmutes into the weighty realization, "I should have addressed this earlier." This cycle precisely defines the procrastination paradox, the pursuit of immediate comfort, which invariably leads to a greater state of unease. To effectively dismantle the habit of procrastination, it's imperative to identify its underlying origins. Procrastination isn't a singular, monolithic entity. It functions as a symptom arising from various interconnected causes. Firstly, we often observe the influence of perfectionism and the fear of failure. When a task appears monumental, or the envisioned standard of execution is exceedingly high, the apprehension of failing to achieve perfection can lead to absolute paralysis. It's frequently perceived as less daunting to avoid initiation entirely than to confront the potential for imperfection. Secondly, a significant contributor is lack of clarity or feeling overwhelmed. When a task is ill-defined or its scope appears immense, our minds often struggle to identify a starting point. This is analogous to standing before a vast, uncharted wilderness without a map or clear direction. Thirdly, the absence of intrinsic motivation or genuine interest plays a role. We're inherently inclined toward activities that yield immediate gratification or interest. Tasks perceived as tedious or unrewarding often trigger a natural resistance. Finally, in our contemporary environment, impulsivity and constant distraction are paramount drivers. Our attention is fragmented by an incessant barrage of stimuli. The allure of immediate rewards, social media engagement, constant notifications, digital entertainment, presents a formidable counterforce to sustained, focused effort. Recognizing these specific drivers within our own behavior constitutes the foundational step toward reasserting control. For centuries, philosophers, particularly the Stoics, offered profound frameworks for self-discipline and reasoned action, providing powerful antidotes to the procrastination paradox. Their insights offer a vantage path to consistent and deliberate action. Firstly, the dichotomy of control. As articulated by Epictetus, certain phenomena are within our sphere of influence, while others unequivocally are not. Procrastination frequently arises from an excessive preoccupation with factors beyond our control. The ultimate outcome, the judgment of others, or the inherent difficulty of the task itself. The Stoic directive is unequivocal. Concentrate your entire energy solely on what falls within your direct power. This includes your effort, your choices, and your actions in this precise moment. The act of initiation is entirely within your volitional capacity. Secondly, the practice of premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of adversities. Instead of avoiding an uncomfortable task, the Stoics advised for the deliberate contemplation of the negative ramifications of inaction. Consider the future burden of regret, the forfeiture of opportunities, and the compounding stress that accumulates from sustained delay. This focused mental exercise serves as a potent catalyst for immediate and decisive action. Thirdly, the principle of amor fati, the love of fate. Embrace the task that lies before you, not as an onerous burden, but as an indispensable component of your personal evolution, an opportunity for the rigorous exercise of virtue. If a task is incumbent upon you, approach it with a profound sense of acceptance, even a form of gratitude, for the chance it presents to cultivate discipline. The Stoic philosophy is fundamentally a philosophy of action, not merely passive contemplation. It mandates direct engagement with the realities of existence rather than retreat from its inherent challenges. Beyond philosophical principles, concrete strategies exist to systematically dismantle the mechanisms of procrastination. These represent the tangible tools available to the internal warrior. 1. Deconstruct the overwhelming. If a task appears colossal, it's likely perceived as such. Systematically deconstruct it into its smallest, most immediately actionable components. Instead of the broad directive, write a report. Redefine it as open document, then draft outline, then compose first paragraph. These incremental successes build crucial momentum. 2. The 2-minute rule. Implement this powerful principle. If a task can be completed in 2 minutes or less, execute it immediately. This applies to answering an email, tidying a small area, or scheduling a quick call. These seemingly minor actions cultivate a habit of initiation and prevent negligible tasks from escalating into overwhelming burdens. 3. Strategic time blocking and deep work. Allocate specific, uninterrupted blocks of time for your most critical tasks. Treat these commitments to yourself as non-negotiable appointments. Turn off external distractions. Cultivate the ability to focus intently on a single objective. 4. Embrace just start. Acknowledge that the most formidable barrier is frequently the initial act of beginning. Commit to working for a mere 5 or 10 minutes. More often than not, once this initial inertia is overcome, you'll find yourself continuing. The act of starting itself generates momentum and facilitates the flow of progress. 5. Design your environment for success. Proactively arrange your surroundings to minimize opportunities for procrastination and maximize ease of action. Remove distracting elements. Configure your workspace to be an inviting catalyst for the work that requires your attention. 6. Practice self-compassion, not self-condemnation. Inevitably, there will be instances of lapse. When this occurs, refrain from spiraling into self-criticism. Acknowledge the misstep, extract the lesson, and promptly redirect your efforts. Every moment presents a fresh opportunity to choose conscious action. These aren't miraculous panaceas, but rather consistent application of these strategies will incrementally and decisively recalibrate your mind for sustained action. Breaking free from the procrastination paradox extends far beyond merely enhancing productivity. It's fundamentally about reclaiming your personal freedom. It signifies living a life of deliberate intention rather than passively existing as a subordinate to your impulses. The temporary discomfort inherent in disciplined action is profoundly less consequential than the enduring pain of accumulated regret. With each conscious choice to act rather than delay, you're not merely completing a task. You're meticulously building integrity, fortifying your willpower, and demonstrably proving to yourself your innate capacity for consistent self-mastery. This journey is, by its very nature, continuous, an integral component of the ongoing self-battle. However, with every successful confrontation against procrastination, you advance further along your vantage path, progressively gaining clarity, reinforcing your purpose, and experiencing the profound inner peace that accompanies true command over your own existence. Embrace the discomfort, choose action, live with unwavering purpose. I now pose a question to each of you. What's one task you've been deferring, and what's the singular, smallest step you will commit to taking today to address it? I encourage you to share your commitment in the comments below. If the insights shared today have resonated with you, providing a new perspective on this universal challenge, I invite you to indicate your appreciation by liking this video. Consider sharing it with someone who might benefit from this message, and most importantly, subscribe to Vantage Path for ongoing guidance on mastering your mind and cultivating a life of deliberate intention. Thank you for your attention. Remember always, your profound journey to mastery commences with a single, conscious and deliberate step.